Alright guys, today we are going to be doing Poulan Pro pr4218 chainsaw carburetor. Going to do the carburetor, fuel lines, primer bulb, everything. All the parts come in the kit. I'll put it in the description below. Everything you'll need, some spares. They're rolling around. Extra fuel filter, bring a carburetor, fuel lines, gaskets, everything you need for this job. A couple of spares. I'll put this in the description below. Just click the link. First thing we're going to do is put the chain brake on. That way we can get to all the bolts. It's torque 25. 1, 2, 3 of them. Or a flathead screwdriver. But I use torque 25. It's just easier to starve it. Up and out. Move. We're going to take off the recoils. We got to be able to get to the primer bulb. So torque 25, 1, 2, 3 of them. No, 3 right there. 3 of them. Pull that off and out of the way. This makes it easier to get to the primer bulb. And the fuel lines. One of the fuel lines is crumbled to come off. Now you can usually just replace your fuel lines, but the kit's so cheap. You know, you go through all the work of doing your fuel lines and you get it all together and it still doesn't run. You would wish you'd done the carburetor. So I'm going to do the carburetor as well. Customer's not going to be willing to pay me twice to do the same job. Take off the air filter. This thing just never got used, so it sat. The line's dry rotted and cracked, and the diaphragms in the carburetor are made of neoprene too, so they'll dry rot and crack as well from sitting too long. 8mm. I'm gonna pop those 2 screws out, 2 nuts out. There's a rubber boot up top here. Just gonna pull it out, get it out of the way. Sinks right out. Pull this out. Get it out of the way. There's a choke arm. Gotta get out. We're just gonna kind of hang this thing down like this. So what we got going on here is this is a slightly different setup. But as you see, it's the same as well. So there's a few different options. There's the choke, same place. Throttle, same place. It's just this plate right here is built into here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off these 2 Phillips heads and remove this plate, and we got the same carburetor. Just aftermarket. Some, you know, they make them for a bunch of different saws, and they're all basically the same carburetors. A very small Phillips head, so pop them off. That comes right out, arms out and everything, and then you got the same setup. It's got a little round piece where it acts as a lever, and everything else you see is exactly the same. So, there you go. You got your carburetor. Easy peasy. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and take this carburetor off. I think you just need to slide this whole thing out and up. And you'll push it in so it throttles up. And bring it up. And then we can show you again. I don't know if I recorded that or not. So we're going to just grab the throttle it up, and slide this right up and out. Whole thing right on up and out. And then there's the where it hooks in right here. Just comes right out. Alright, so that's to the side. I'm going to remove the fuel lines. Don't worry about where any of them are. Yours may even be disintegrated and not connected. Like this one's broken. That one went back into the tank right here. There was a return line. This thing didn't run. All the other lines seemed to be fine. This one didn't run. So it was carburetor issue anyways. It was leaking fuel everywhere, but it still wouldn't run. And that wouldn't have stopped it from running. It would have ran and it leaked fuel everywhere. So get this other fuel line on this side off. It's not going to let it come all the way out. It's very close. Take a screwdriver right in here and just pry it up a little bit. Gives you a little bit extra room to get it out. Like so. Gave him enough room to get it out. No big deal. Alright, so you know where everything goes. This line is the one that goes to the fuel filter. It goes to this side. This line is the suction line on the primer ball. It pulls the fuel through the carburetor, and then this line squirts from the primer ball back into the gas tank. Alright, let's rip all those lines out and get them out of here. See I'm grabbing this from this side to pull it out, but you see the lines just crumbling away. The inner line is still good. That's like the ethanol resistant part of the fuel line, but the rest of it is shot. So I'm just going to cut this line and pull it through the top. Cut it, pull it through the bottom, something. Pull this out. Now, sometimes what happens is the outside looks fine and the inside will collapse. It gets soft and it'll collapse. So whenever you're trying to, start your thing, it's just kinking or collapsing and not letting the fuel through. So everything looks good, but it isn't. So again, if you're doing the carburetor, make sure you replace all the lines. I do the whole job. It's just better to do it right the first time and be done with it. The primer bulb, it just clicks in. It's got flaps on each side. The old one I just grab and rip out. It's no big deal. We don't care about it. It's out of there. Boom. Done. Alright. We got to rinse this tank up. Grabbing a brand new primer bulb. It's going to be short nipple up. You see it's got the two prong flaps. There's two notches on each side of this. So we'll turn the flashlight on if you can see it better. Yeah. So those are going to go right in those. It's hard to do this through the phone. Those are going to go right into those flaps, and then you're going to push it in until it clicks. Right until it clicks. Small nipple up. Okay. All right. Small nipple is suction. It pulls the fuel. I think they had it right. They just had the primer bulb upside down. I'm surprised it even fit in there like that. Or maybe they didn't. I don't know. Well, they had it right. They had it in there right. All right. All right. So, okay, hold on. Forgot to clean out my tank. Clean out your tank. Alright, so cut your fuel line to a point, stab it down into the hole of the grommet, and just keep pushing it down in. You're going to push it down until you can grab it from here and pull it out of the gas tank. Just like so. cut the tip off of it. Stab a filter onto it. Drop the filter back down into the tank. And then you're going to have a lot of extra line. You want that filter to lay on the bottom, so you're going to pull the line back so that the line can just flop around in there and hang on the bottom or go to the side, wherever it needs. Alright, and then this side we're going to bring over to here. We're going to cut it right there. That's going to be your fuel inlet. It goes into this nipple here. That's close to the fuel pump on your carburetor. Oh, right there. Alright, then we're going to go ahead. We're going to cut this into a point again. We're going to put it in this hole right here. And we're going to just push it in about 1 inch. It only has to be just inside the tank. This line will go to the long nipple. It's the return. So we're just going to kind of curl over, get it an idea how long we want it, and then just cut it off to that size. I'm going to take and stab it on the long nipple. Use a pair of needle nose, make it easy. Just like so. Then we're going to grab the fuel line again. We're going to put it on the short nipple. Suction, I'm just going to leave it long for now. That sucks the fuel from the carburetor. It goes to the other side. This one goes to this side. This one will go to the suction and it'll pull the fuel through the carburetor. Put the carburetor on. Again, pry up. It gets that into place. First, oh shoot, we forgot to pull that back off. Use the old carburetor gasket. It goes between the gas, carb, and everything. The reason I'm using it is because the big mouth one they gave me, the holes aren't in the right spot. The one they gave me with the holes in the right spot, see, they gave me 3 of them, the hole's not in the right spot. One with the hole in the right spot, it's smaller mouth, and I want the bigger mouth, you know, give it more air. So we're going to put the old one back on. You just need to have a gasket between. The one with the little mouth will work, or you can take this one with the big mouth and punch a hole in the bottom, you know, something like that. But it's just easier to use the old one. Again, they make these carburetors go on most of the poulan chainsaws, so they just make them where they fit everything when they're doing the aftermarket ones. Alright, so you got that on. Now you can put your new carburetor. Is this new one? Yeah. Now you can put your new carburetor in. You just got to pry up on the thing and it drops into place. No big deal. Alright, that slid into place. Now we can hook up the fuel line to that nipple right there. If this is too long, you'll cut off some, you know, but it can have a little length to it. It's not a big deal, as long as it's not kinking. Like that. Nice and smooth. Yes, I know we still got to do the throttle, but we're going to hook up this other fuel line first. I'm going to cut it to length, stab it out. Fuel lines are hooked up. Everything looks good. We're going to go into the throttle and slide the throttle arm in. We're going to give it a full throttle. Slide this down into the chainsaw, right into that groove right there. Now, you hit the trigger. Everything's working properly. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and push this boot on, get it down into place, like so. Bravo. Where is, oh, still hanging off the machine. We're going to take this, oh, we're missing a choke arm. We're going to get our choke arm in. Just lay it right there on that flat spot, like So this around. So we want the choke arm to fit up in here before we get it, before we get it together. So we're going to work our way into that section. Now we're going to get the air filter assembly down into place, get the rubber boot on the back worked in, get it kind of pushed in where it goes. Let me check everything here. So it was kind of hanging up on these bolts. I had to actually take my and push it on. No big deal. You'll see it lines up with everything here. Throttle's working properly like it should. We're going to put the two nuts on now, 8mm. So we're going to put this recoil on now. It's torque 25s or flathead screw. It's these guys right here. Pop them in. At this point we dump a little gas into the gas tank. Put the gas cap back on. And we're going to prime it up. And as long as it primes, we know we've gotten it together properly. Freaking trying to prime this while holding it at the same time. There it goes, primed up. Nice. Filter on. And the piece that holds the air filter is go like this, I think. Yeah, like that. Push it on. Top cover. All the way on. T25. Tightens it all down. So this needs to be adjusted. It's very common. So it's bogging out when you hit the throttle all the way. You'll see it says H and L here. It's going to be the H. It is a star fit. You're going to turn the right hand one, the H, counterclockwise about a quarter a turn. You're just going to do it until it stops bogging or you can get full RPM. I'll do a whole nother video on that next, on how to adjust this carburetor. Alright guys, if this helped you out in any way, shape, or form, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. If you want to do any advertising on my channel, message me. I'd be more than happy to have you. Parts will be in the description below. I'll do another video in just a second that will have the adjustment with the carburetor tools that you might need for this. Peace.